What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Welcome back to another live stream for you guys to review the Liverpool game. Tottenham against Liverpool at Anfield yesterday finished 1-1. As it stands right now, Arsenal are currently winning 2-0 at half-time and Leeds are down to 10 men. Basically just giving it away, Leeds. Literally, Meslier gets tackled on his goal line.
What is that about, man? Tackling on your goal line. How many goals are the opposition teams going to give Arsenal recently?
Literally,
it's ridiculous.
Chelsea gave them a couple. Man United laid down for them.
It's ridiculous, but anyway. What can we do? And then they get this ridiculous red card. So unnecessary. Like, the corner, like he's not going anywhere, and he just 2-foots him.
Yeah, it's 100% red card.
100%. But what is like? Teams are just giving it easy to Arsenal recently. It's ridiculous.
It reminds me of how teams were just giving it so easy to Leicester as well in that run for the league title that year. But always seems to happen against Spurs. I said whenever a team comes up against Spurs, they just get unfounded luck.
Yeah,
every single time. But anyway, let's not try to think about that, and let's talk about the Tottenham-Liverpool game yesterday at Anfield. Let's start with our match review. And, you know, I got to the stadium yesterday and the Liverpool fans were lining the streets. There was flares everywhere. It was a massive game for them in terms of their title challenge and a massive game for us in terms of our top four challenge. And I felt that there was a sense of inevitability yesterday in terms of Liverpool, the way the fans were, the way the stadium was, the atmosphere was incredible, put on by the Liverpool fans yesterday. But Tottenham came to spoil the party, and that's exactly what we did yesterday. I thought Antonio Conte, the way he set us up yesterday, the way the players performed in that setup as well, was just unbelievable. Ben Davies put in an absolutely stellar display. Emerson Royale, absolutely stellar display. Both of their team's displays of the season, in my opinion. But the way we defended and dug deep as a team, I was really proud of us yesterday. And I thought Liverpool actually threw the kitchen sink at us yesterday for the most part of the game. We were suffocated for a lot of it, and we stood up to the challenge, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't think Liverpool played badly yesterday. A few obviously cross in the wide areas, their quality could have been a bit better. But I actually think Liverpool really pressed us well, effectively. They penned us in for a lot of the time, and we stood up to the pressure and we held firm. I think you got to give credit to a lot of the unsung heroes, Emerson, Davis, who were absolutely imperious at the back, alongside the players who usually play well, like Dyer and Romero, like players who don't get enough credit. Definitely deserved a lot of credit yesterday for the way that we stood up to Liverpool and made sure that, you know, they barely had a clear-cut chance. The goal they scored was a lucky deflection from 25 yards. The most work Lloris had to do was when Sessegnon nearly headed it into his own net. So I think you've got to... You know, most teams can't defend like that against Liverpool and hold strong as much as we did. And I think the game, you know, talking about the game beforehand, I think it played out pretty much as expected. Very similar to how we played against Man City and how we played, maybe not how we played against Liverpool early in the season, but definitely reminiscent of the City game in terms of making sure we clog up the central areas, making sure we're sitting very, very deep, clog up the penalty area, force them out wide, make them put crosses in, be strong when they do put crosses in, and when we do get chances to play our way out the back, make sure we're a threat at all, and not because if you don't make sure you're a threat on the ball, it's very easy for Liverpool to just pile even more men forward, and then you're not going to be able to hurt them going the other way. But we were, even though we weren't maybe as much as a threat as we were earlier in the season when we played them. You know, Højbjerg hit the post, Son had a few counter attacks. We had a few moments to hurt Liverpool even before we scored, and then we did get the goal. Really good team goal again, very reminiscent of team goals we scored against Man City. So anyone said it was just counter-attacks, I think are missing the whole point of how Conte likes to play. I think the goal we scored was very, very good playing out the back goal. And I think we were desperately unlucky not to hold strong. But the Liverpool pressure is very, very intense. And unfortunately, they got a bit of luck. And you make your own luck in those situations.
And it was frightening in the first half because every time we countered Liverpool, they countered us straight back. And Liverpool were on it yesterday. The fans were on it. I mean, they suffocated us. We suffered for a large parts of those games yesterday. And that's why I was so proud, because not many teams will go to Anfield and come under such pressure like we did and come away with a point.
I completely
Not many
agree.
teams at all. And for a team like Spurs, we've had our big issues this season. We haven't lost to either Man City or Liverpool, which is actually mind-boggling. The only team in the league that have not done so. And I was, like I keep saying, I was just so proud. I mean, let's talk about Emerson Royale's display because defensively he was unbelievable. Nothing got past him the whole day. And going forward, where everyone's had their reservations about him, I mean, he stood up to the challenge that way as well. I mean, the balls he was playing over the top to the switches of play, I mean, pinpoint every single time. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was seeing with him yesterday.
Yeah, his passing was for once completely on point, and I thought his confidence-wise, he was much more willing to take people on, much more willing to get into the final third and actually provide a bit of quality as well. It was really surprising seeing Emerson step up like that, like he did. I thought he played exceptionally well, and you got to give it to him. He's come under a lot of criticism. But he stood up to the task, and I thought Diaz had a difficult day, despite the fact he was probably Liverpool's brightest attacker. He definitely had to cut inside to get the most joy. On the outside, Emerson was doing very, very well on that side. Defensively, I thought he was fantastic, and I thought on the ball as well, he was showing a lot more confidence. When watching him switch play and watching him actually get it to someone,
I couldn't believe what I was watching.
I thought he was brilliant. You got to give him massive, massive credit. And maybe this is his Doherty moment where maybe we're finally seeing the real Emerson Royale, which is potentially exciting. But we'll have to wait and see. He has to do it from now to the end of the season. But maybe that was maybe a inkling of what he can do in a Tottenham shirt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. By far his best display in a Spurs shirt, by far. On the other side, Sessegnon, I thought he struggled maybe in the opening stage of the game in the first half, but credit to him for keep plugging away. He got his assist, and I felt for the most part he did deal with Salah really well, and obviously took a sacrifice for the team in that yellow card, which was a really good foul, and a really important foul at that time, wasn't it?
Definitely, yeah, because they were on the breakaway. I actually thought he again had a solid game. I thought defensively, again, he dealt with Salah really, really effectively, and Salah for the second game in a row now up against Sessegnon really struggled to deal with him. And Sessegnon was like a bit like a rash that Salah couldn't shake off. And I think he went forward. Maybe not as much as we'd like, but he took on Alexander-Arnold a few times. He wasn't able to get beyond him too many times, and won a few corners. But when it mattered, he made the right pass at the right time. And a lot of players would have shot or maybe lost their composure, like Reguilon. But he didn't. He put the ball across the face of goal on a plate for Sonny, and we got the goal. And he did very well to get in that position as well when he did. And well played. And I think it's a second. He seems to thrive when we play the good teams because he's putting a good performance now against City and then two games against Liverpool. So fair play to him.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's a bit similar with Emerson because he had a good display against Man City as well when we beat them 3-2.
Maybe these players thrive a bit more when they got a bit more space in front of them.
Yeah, I guess so. That's probably definitely true there, 100%. A few other players that I want to mention. I think Kulusevski, I think he did really well, kind of picking the ball up kind of deep and carrying the ball and relieving us of pressure for a lot of the times. And I felt that he was doing really well in taking on his man. But I think, the decision making, maybe not the decision making, but maybe the quality in his decisions made him found wanting a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, I think he was really good at helping us relieve the pressure, especially in the first half. A few times we were able to knock the ball in his direction and he would make it stick and wriggle out of a few situations, and he beat Robertson a few times but wasn't able to create much. When you ask him to maybe get the ball over the top to Sonny or something like that, wasn't able to hurt Liverpool in that sense. But I definitely felt like they struggled to deal with him a bit when they were pressing him. Like he was the toughest player for them to press, Kulusevski, and that was really impressive. So I think he did well overall, but didn't really have the impact in the final third, I would say.
Yeah, but it was hard. It was hard for our attackers yesterday because,
so much defending to do.
It was very few and far between when we could get into the Liverpool box and high up the pitch. But it was all about the defence and Højbjerg and the midfield yesterday. I mean, they were just imperious. I mean, every single one of them stood up for the challenge yesterday. We defended as a unit. Cuti Romero was unbelievable. I was getting worried in the first half when we kept trying to play it out the back, and we kept losing the ball and putting ourselves under pressure. But every time we put ourselves under pressure, we rose up to the challenge, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Eric Dyer aerially was absolutely a monster. And like I said, Romero, I mean, the challenges he was putting in was just insane. It was just absolutely insane. And against this Liverpool team, which you got to say is probably the best team in Europe at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that back three, Davis, Dyer, Romero, were unbelievable. They were the main reason we got a point yesterday. I thought Davis, some of the blocks he was making was absolutely heroic. I thought it was exceptional stuff from Ben Davis. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Dyer was like a tower at the back there, heading every ball away. And Romero was like the bulldog, just chasing after people, doing diving headers in the box, like doing that early foul on Henderson to set the tone. I thought he was brilliant as well, Romero. So the back three showed what they're all about, and they have been fairly consistent, even in games that we haven't won and haven't played well. I thought they've usually been pretty strong, even in those games. So. Look, it was a good point. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win with the Højbjerg chance right at the end, where he could have either gone for goal or found Harry Kane across the face of goal. Did neither. Maybe caught in two minds and ended up letting the chance go. But Tottenham definitely having the better chances in the day, and might be a bit annoyed that we couldn't have gone to Anfield and got the win. And it seems to be a curse, as we've said before, just missing really gilt-edged chances at Anfield. Seems to happen every year in very, very tight games. But in terms of unfortunately, as much as it was a good point in terms of the top four race, doesn't really help us too much at the end of the day. Look, Arsenal are currently winning 2-0, so as things stand, we're going into the North London derby 4 points behind. If we really wanted to be favourites for top four or take the top four race by the scruff of the neck, we had to win yesterday, and we weren't able to do that. So it is most definitely advantage Arsenal. If all they need now is a draw in the North London derby, and they've got one hand on that fourth spot. That's the reality of the situation now. So as much as it was a good point in terms of result and in terms of performance, was it a good point in terms of our league position? No. But, you don't look back on the end of the season and say, we're not getting top four because we drew at Anfield. That's for sure.
No, but, it's the situation that we're in. And I left the stadium feeling a bit dejected yesterday. As much as I was proud of the team, of the way they fought, the way they stood up to the challenge that Liverpool posed to us, I felt that we could have won that game, and that chance at the end really did it for me. I mean, that was the key chance, wasn't it? Right at the end, if we would have scored that's 3 points. And any other year and any other stage of the season, even this year, if you leave Anfield with a point, you're happy with that. But at this stage of the season, with the way we played and the chance that we had in the end, I thought it was a massive missed opportunity yesterday.
I keep saying it, this point would actually be an amazing point if we would have drawn against Brighton. Because if right now the situation would be going to the North London derby 3 points behind. And that would be a good situation to be in, because if we win, we go above them. As things stand, that's not the case. We're 4 points behind, and we're hoping we have to beat them now, and they have to drop points in one of against Newcastle or Everton, which is not impossible, but is unlikely with either the luck they're getting at the moment or the quality of team they are. They're more than likely to be able to win those two games. So it's not a good situation to be in, and that's the unfortunate thing. So I can't be too unbelievably over the moon about a point at Anfield of the situation, but it shows what we're able to achieve under Antonio Conte, and it shows the level he's brought this team on, what he's able to bring out of this squad, even though it's a flawed squad. And I think he's done exceptionally well, and you've got to give him all the credit in the world for us being able to put in displays like that, because earlier this season it wouldn't have been possible to do that. And fair play to him. He's got us in big games. He's been able to get us now. Maybe where that was our biggest problem, especially under like Pochettino going away to big sides, we very more often than not rolled over, maybe a bit naive. Now we're able to get results in these kind of grounds. We've proven it
at Anfield and City and the Etihad.
Yeah, we've proven it. We've proven it over the 4 games. We can get results in these big games. So we just need to perfect getting more consistent results against teams who sit back and things like that, and teams who have a plan for us. And then we're going to be challenging. But it's all, I think, obviously, even if we don't get top 4, which is looking more unlikely as the game weeks go, I'm hoping Conte will stay and believe in the project. And I'm starting to believe he still will, to be honest, based on what he's saying and everything, and based on potentially the backing he'll get, whether we get Champions League or not. But it's still so imperative that we somehow get into that top four if we really want to accelerate the project as far as possible.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is looking a bit unlikely at the moment with teams just rolling over Arsenal week in, week out. But finally, just to end off the match review, Klopp was talking in his post-match press conference yesterday, bemoaning Spurs' setup and the way we play our football and stuff like that. I mean, he seemed very salty yesterday, didn't he? I mean, what did you make out of his comments?
I thought it was really salty. I don't know why he's crying at the fact that we're not being naive, like May says, for example, Man United, when they came to Anfield, just like going all out attack and being easy to play against and open up. No, we know what Liverpool's strengths are. We know how hard they are to play against. We know how intense their pressing is, and we got to play to our strengths. And we got to do what we got to do to try our best to get a point in it. And I think we got it tactically spot on. And he says, look, his team, he can't set up his team like that and whatnot. And look, that's fair enough. Each coach has their own way of playing football and their own way of setting up their team, and just because Klopp sets up his way like that doesn't mean it's the right way. It's just his way, and it's gotten a lot of success. Conte's way's got him a lot of success, and teams set up their teams in completely different ways. And I think to suggest there's like, I don't know, I didn't outright say it, but he kind of suggesting here there's a right way and a wrong way, and he can never do what we did in any game. And look, in Klopp's early years at Liverpool, he would have gone to teams like we did yesterday, and he would have been naive and got opened up and lost quite a few games. Obviously, it took refinement, and they're now in the situation where they're playing perfect football. But we didn't have that luxury, you know. Conte's still just over 6 months into his job, so he's got to do what he's got to do to try and his best to get the result, and I think he did it perfectly. I think, and we were a threat. We made the better chances, let's be honest, and it's on Liverpool to try and break us down and try and stop our counters, and they weren't able to do that as effectively as we were. So I think you just need to stop crying and get used to the fact that teams are going to try and stop them playing because they're so good at it. What can we do?
Yeah. No, absolutely. But look, it did finish 1-1 yesterday. I was definitely proud of the team, but I did walk away from the stadium feeling it was a bit of a missed opportunity, and I felt we could have got 3 points, but ultimately 1-1 and a draw was probably a fair result. So that is our match review of the game at Anfield yesterday, 1-1. Let's move on and let's go and see how social...
it's not disconnected again. Give me a sec.
Let's not. We got to make sure it's muted in the back end just so we don't get that crazy echo like we do all the time. We will go in a second, but we're still watching the Arsenal game at the moment. It's 55 minutes in. It's 2-0. The ref giving a talking to Granit Xhaka and Dan James. Not sure what's gone on here, but...
Leeds aren't getting back in this game.
Leeds, look...
It's 10 men.
like
they're 2-0 down. It's over for Leeds.
But...
I just can't believe it. You're fighting relegation, you know, and if you risk going into relegation zone if you lose, and within 5 minutes your keeper gets tackled. I mean, how can you afford to do that? It's ridiculous. And then then Luke Ayling to do that challenge in the corner by the corner flag when the player's going nowhere, he just 2 foots him out of nowhere for no reason. I mean, if you're going to be doing that, then you deserve to go down. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
They're going to go down. We've got a few super chats. Tom Edgel says, if only Højbjerg scored, going to be a tough ask for top 4. Yeah, absolutely correct about that.
It's a tough ask, but it's not completely impossible in the way Newcastle and Everton are playing at the moment. We just got to make sure.
We got to beat Arsenal on Thursday. We got to beat Arsenal on Thursday, and then just got to hope Newcastle can do something next week.
Newcastle or Everton? Well, I think the best situation, I think the right now, the best situation we can hope for is if... obviously, we win the North London derby and hope that Everton need a draw on the last day. Actually, I think hoping they need a draw is better than hoping they need a win in a way. Because if they need to win and they have to go all out for 3 points, they're going to leave spaces and stuff like that. If they only need a draw on the last day, they're going to be compact, they're going to shut up shop and try and frustrate Arsenal. And that's the best thing we can hope for going to the last day of the season,
Absolutely.
I think. But look, it's not all over. We've lost it on the last day of the season before, haven't we? These things don't usually happen to Spurs.
Yeah, we lost it to relegated Newcastle. Well, we lost second place to relegated
No, we
Newcastle.
lost top 4 to Arsenal on the last day.
Yeah.
It happened, you know. We've done it before, so it's not impossible, but look, it's not a situation you'd want to be in, is it? That's the reality.
Another super chat from Puz. Saying, given LFC's form, I would have taken a draw before the match. Now I'm disappointed we didn't win. Highlight of the match was Akuti's attempted bicycle kick. I
remember that. A cross came in, he went for it, but it was cleared before it even got to him. So he just did a bicycle air kick, basically.
And Bob Spur TV, big up Bob, says, breaking, Conte calls in exorcist to check if Emerson was possessed. Was up till 6 in the morning with Rez, Dan and Daigle after In the Wall chatting. Big love to you, Bob.
6 in the morning. No, we only got back. I got back at like 4:30.
Yeah, I was up till about 5 in the morning last night, something like that. It was a late one yesterday.
Hence the late start today.
Exactly. But anyway, let's go and see how Twitter reacted to the game yesterday.
Yeah. So we'll start with the extra entry. They say yesterday was that was such a gritty.
See, now Emerson can put his highlights reel.
Yeah, exactly. Now everyone's ready to see his highlights reel 100%. They say that was such a gritty and organised performance against the best team in the world. Our wing backs handled their wide plays incredibly well. Emerson was outstanding. Such a pity we couldn't see it through or nick a goal or nick one at the end, but that bodes well for the future. That was Liverpool's second lowest XG total of the season in the Premier League. The first being when they played Man City in October, a really outstanding defensive display from Tottenham. So only Man City have kept Liverpool to a lower XG than Spurs did yesterday throughout the whole season. So very impressive.
What did you say Liverpool's XG was yesterday?
I didn't say, but I can
you didn't
see.
say.
I just said it was their second lowest of the season. It was, I can tell you, 1.05.
And ours?
It says 0.98 here.
Right.
So it was very similar.
Mm-hmm.
But Liverpool's XG was made up of a lot of low XG shots, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
A lot of long range ones, which were like 0.02 and whatever, and they all kind of add up. Is Rafinha going off? Oh, for God's sake. So giving up then. They've taken Rafinha off. Leeds have officially given up. They've given up this one. Emerson's stats from yesterday: 100% tackles won.
Wow.
100% dribbles, 80% accurate long balls, 4 out of 5, 79% passing accuracy, 78% ground duels, 73 total touches, 5 clearances, and 5 ball recoveries. An outstanding performance. That's from Statman Dave.
It really
was brilliant.
It really was. I mean, I kept telling you, like literally from the 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in, you could see Emerson was a man on a mission yesterday. I mean, just that alone, like the stats alone, it's just unbelievable. I mean, the best performance by a long, long way that he's ever put in a Spurs shirt. And I kept saying, look, Emerson's looking good today. Emerson's looking good today. And then he ends up being a man of the match, in my opinion.
Definitely. Ben Davis, Tottenham Hotspur account tweeting, Ben Davis, what a block.
Yeah.
It was brilliant from Ben Davis.
It really was. Ben Davis again, another one who put in probably his best display of the season by far. That block from Mo Salah just before they scored was absolutely world class.
Martin says Emerson new contract.
Not
yet. Christian Romero, his game by numbers as well. 100% tackles won, 76% passing accuracy, 75% aerial duels won, 69 touches, 9 ball recoveries and 8 clearances and 1 block. A rock at the back for Romero.
Absolutely. The defensive stats just must be insane yesterday because all of them put in a massive shift.
Yeah, it was amazing. Charlie Eccleshare said, I asked if Klopp was impressed with the way Tottenham defended. His response was, I'm sorry, I'm the wrong person for that. I don't like this kind of football, but that's my problem. I think they're world class and I think they should do more for the game.
Get away, Klopp.
We should do more for the game.
Literally expect people just to come over to Anfield and just open up for you. Is that what you expect? Like, I don't understand. Do you understand football? Like how teams are supposed to play against the best team in the world? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Tottenham Hotspur say desire and determination. There's Son and Kane with a picture there after Son scored. Fantastic stuff. Expressions of Emerson's passport today. Finally, he's a Brazilian. Brilliant stuff.
More of a Brazilian than Gilberto now, that's for sure.
Dan Kilpatrick says Klopp should really be thankful for Spurs containing counter approach. It took 6 points off Man City.
Exactly.
So now you can't complain now. Heung-min Son and Gareth Bale are the only Spurs players to bag 20 goals in a Premier League season without scoring a penalty. He's up there with Bale.
Exactly. Not bad, is it? Not bad, is it? And when you look at it, who's let's say a bigger legend for Spurs, or a bigger, who's had the better Spurs career, Bale or Son?
I think Spurs career, you have to say Son.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so. You have to say Sonny. As much as you can argue Bale that one season was better than Son.
How many did he get in that one season?
In the Premier League, 21.
21. So Son's going to beat it this year, probably.
Looks like it. He's one off. So you have to say Sonny probably had a better Spurs career. But Bale.
The thing is with Bale that year, first of all, he was in a terrible team, even though this team's not great. I think that Bale that year, how many times in the last minute did he just score a worldie from 30, 35
about 4 or 5
yards and
times.
just grab the game by the scruff of the neck? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Michael Bridge says fourth would be huge, sure, and because it's Arsenal, it adds further importance. But if Conte stays for next season, I firmly believe that we'll have a very exciting campaign. It's games against elite sides, you get a further reminder Spurs have a genuinely world-class coach.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I was thinking last night, to be honest, because you look at the games against Liverpool and Man City and unbelievable displays, and if we can just back Conte this summer, if we can back him and get the players of his kind of stature in, we'll see more games like that, and we won't be losing as many points to the kind of lower teams as we have been this season. We really won't. So I completely agree with that.
James Ducker says, shame on Antonio Conte for not setting up his team to lose and roll over for Liverpool to claim a straightforward win.
Shame on you, Conte.
Shame on Tottenham. Completely agree with that. Emerson Royale was voted man of the match by Spurs fans yesterday. Well deserved as well, and fair play to him.
Yeah.
He deserves it. Completely deserves it.
Leeds fans are absolutely going mental there.
Yeah, it looks like it. They're
having a relegation party.
Exactly, looks like it. Christian Romero yesterday.
Literally.
Brilliant. I thought that was funny. That's good stuff from Jack. JXCKTHFC. That was a good meme. All Spurs fans today, well, that hasn't really panned out, has it?
No.
Leeds have not helped us.
They haven't turned up today. The game was over after 20 minutes.
Yeah. Interesting from Gary Neville. Obviously, he responded to Klopp's comments. Quote tweeted Klopp, and he said, I respect Conte and his football enormously, but this...
it's a goal!
It's a goal for Leeds.
Leeds have scored.
Don't get too excited, but look, Leeds have scored, so look, let's cross our finger. Everyone cross whatever you can cross.
Come on, Leeds, get another goal. Come on!
Let's just hope VAR don't rule it out 1 second. I wasn't actually seeing what happened there. Oh, it's a corner, is it? Yeah. Oh, so VAR can't rule that out. Nah, it's a goal. All right. Looks like Arsenal might be made to pay for missed chances if they don't take all 3 points in this one, but they have got a goal against 10-man Leeds.
25 minutes to go.
Cross whatever you can cross. They don't need Rafinha.
Pray to any God you believe in, and whichever one is real will make it stick. Just pray to anything that you can believe in. Come on, Leeds.
I do think.
Come on, Leeds.
It's this type of game that they'll get a goal back and then Arsenal will hit them back straight away.
Oh, here we go.
I told you already. They're going to hit them back straight away.
Probably, but anyway.
Let's just hope Leeds get a goal. Another one. It's 2-1 there at the Emirates.
What was Neville saying?
So Neville says, I respect Conte and his football enormously, but this Klopp interview gives the clear reason why he wasn't the right fit for Man United. He's saying the words Klopp said gives a clear reason why Conte wasn't the right fit for United.
Yeah, and this is the same guy that said Man United need to get Simeone.
Yeah. Which makes no sense. Ali Gold responded to Gary Neville.
Why is this happening, people?
That was their first shot of the game, by the way, Leeds.
Good.
Ali Gold responded saying, but this was a game plan built for this match and almost brought 3 points. In Conte's 25 matches with Spurs, they've scored 51 goals, which is the third highest in the Premier League during that time. Just 7 less than Liverpool and 13 more than United. Surely being tactically adaptable is a good fit for anyone.
Exactly. Spot on, Ali Gold. Exactly spot on.
And look, I'm glad he doesn't fit. I'm glad they think Rangnick's a better fit than Conte. That's for sure.
The thing is with Man United, they were so much better off probably keeping Ollie till the end of the season.
Then yeah, they've been worse, so much worse under Rangnick. Really, it turns out. Okay. This was Kulusevski doing a nice little skill on Robertson there. Did well there to get around him. This is what I'm talking about Kulusevski.
He's so clever on the ball, Kulusevski.
He's strong as well. Yeah.
Ready-made for the Premier League, and Arsenal have taken off Saka for Pepe going into the last 20 minutes.
That helps Leeds a bit. We'll see. There was Gary Neville responding to... Sorry, it was Carragher responding to Neville saying, Gary Neville calls for brutal Diego Simeone to be considered for Man United's next manager. It's the same Simeone who went to City, had no shots and just parked everyone behind the ball.
Exactly.
But apparently apparently Neville said that Simeone is proper United.
Exactly.
Not a phone in sight, just pure carnage. That was everyone, all the fans in the background. Can't see us there. We were right behind the goal though yesterday, so I'm sure you
had a phone in sight.
Yeah, there was definitely a phone in sight there. But anyone have a screenshot of us? Do tag us, and we'll show on the stream. I haven't quite found a screenshot of us just yet. Henry Winter says, another reminder of what a good job Conte is doing at Tottenham. So well organised, strength in the summer, keep Kane, then drill players further pre-season and build again.
Yeah, absolutely. We just need to back this manager. Back this manager, and we will bear the fruits.
Premier League panels say another example of Kane's top-class link play for Spurs goal at Anfield. Most number 9s line up a shot in that area of the pitch. Even Kane himself might have done that early in his career, but he had the composure to spot the Sessegnon overload and find it with the perfect pass, the complete number 9.
Yeah, and it shows what I know, because at the time in the stadium when Kane had it there, I was like, shoot, shoot, shoot.
I think we all were. But luckily he didn't. Brian Daigle says, so the victory streak is over, but we are still undefeated in the We Are Tottenham TV shirt.
Don't ever take it off.
So the big question is, do I wash it before the North London derby or not?
No.
No, you definitely wash it. Don't leave it. Leave it untouched, mate. And we'll definitely win the North London derby. And there's Son. He's now 2 goals behind Salah in the race for the Golden Boot, with Salah having 5 penalties. So let's hope that he can overcome Salah in the last 3 games of the season.
Yeah, and it's not beyond all realms of possibility, is it? I mean, obviously Salah's probably going to score from now until the end of the season, but Sonny... he's on fire at the moment. He really is.
And take a quick look at Reddit. What Sessegnon and Davis found in their pockets today? Wallet, keys, phone, and Mohamed Salah.
That's the twice this season Sessegnon's pocketed Salah.
Yeah, and he's been brilliant. When your child is drowning, son, fuck you, Paul, son. I thought that was quite funny. Romero's diving header for the cross there, brilliant stuff from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Absolutely.
Is that it? I thought I'd had more. Where was it? Oh, we are confirmed 5th after yesterday's point as well. We can't finish lower than 5th, which is good.
What's a step up from Conference League?
Oh, this foul from Fabinho. Was that a red card?
Yeah.
I thought I didn't see it at the time.
Maybe, look, I think it could be a red card but he made 2 or 3 other fouls during the game as well.
Yeah, definitely. He should have been sent off yesterday. He got lucky. But that one, could have been a red in itself. That one.
Agreed.
And yeah, I think that's it.
All right, so that is how social media, Twitter and Reddit reacted to the game last night. Now I think it's time to bring on some guests, and let's start off with the Ben Davis enthusiast.
And rightly so. There's only one place to start after yesterday.
Oh my God, man! That block on Mo Salah was just worth any result. We could have lost 10-0. We could have lost 10. All goal difference could have been in the mud. As soon as I saw that block, my whole day was complete.
But it wasn't just that block though, was it? It wasn't just that block though, was it?
Yeah.
Because he was unbelievable for the whole 90 minutes.
He looked like a great player for 90. It was so refreshing for someone. I always get stick for supporting the guy. But seeing those performances, and he does drop those every few times a season, and every time it makes all the times that he's absolute shit worth it, because he has been absolute shit sometimes, and I have to go out and defend him. And I rightly get a lot of shit for it, but sometimes when he drops that, it's just so nice to sit back, relax, and enjoy a performance like that.
Do you get a lot
And
of
besides
apologies when
Davis,
he
another
puts in these
player
kind of
that's never sits
performances?
me out.
Do you get a lot of apologies when these performances
No,
come in?
because what ended up happening. No, because what ended up happening is I ended up getting a little bit upset at Højbjerg, and so the group chat that I tend to talk to likes to have a go at Davis every time I have a go at Højbjerg to get back at me. So it ends up being a little bit of back and forth.
Fair enough.
So I didn't actually get a lot of apologies, but I think deep down they knew that, I think they apologized to me spiritually,
Fair enough.
after that performance. I think they kind of had to.
Ariane, with Arsenal currently winning, look, there's 15 minutes to go. Who knows? Maybe Leeds can get a goal back, but let's assume they win. Does that recontextualize our point yesterday, or do you still think it was a good point? Even though it doesn't help us much in the race for top four.
I mean, I said it to you guys exactly. What would happen is we outplay them, we deserve the win, and they normally pull 2 goals out of the hat. This time they only pulled out 1. Right? So it was nothing that was surprising. Like, you just knew it was gonna come one way or another. It did, and I was honestly pretty happy. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty proud of this, and I'm not gonna fuss about a point at Anfield, even though, whatever. Oh, it doesn't matter. A loss and a draw are no different in this scenario for top 4. Whatever. I think a point at Anfield is a point at Anfield. I think we're the only team in the Premier League to avoid defeat against Man City and Liverpool. So, I'll take it. I'll take that. And I think what that does, more than anything, it has a mental effect on Arsenal, who lost 7-0 on aggregate against Liverpool this season. We've drawn 3-3 on aggregate. So that definitely says something to them. They're like, okay, so this is a real difficult team that we have to face in this top 4 race, and they have to come. Or we have to go to their stadium on Thursday, and this is a team who was able to hold Liverpool, and Liverpool were the lucky ones. Meanwhile, we keep, they get their back broken against Liverpool every time they go there. So, it definitely has that kind of effect on them. We're a team that's showing we can play against big games. The only big teams Arsenal has defeated this season are when Chelsea rolled over for them in Nuno Espirito Santo. So, they're a team that don't have that kind of big game mentality like we've had this season. Not quite a cup final mentality is when every time Harry Kane says it, but when it comes to big 6 games, we do seem to have a bit of a mojo that they don't have. And that should have a mental effect on them. It should put pressure on them. Maybe they're going to fold, considering they just conceded to a 10-man team. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Leeds are actually fighting in this game. They're trying to get something, but Arsenal are always danger on the counter-attack.
Yeah, I think Arsenal will get another goal here.
Arsenal coming forward. But anyway, what I was saying actually yesterday is that Spurs, on their day, can beat anyone, where you can't really say the same about Arsenal, can you?
No, Arsenal have limits. Their squad has limits. They have a ceiling, and they've hit it multiple times. Against Man City, they only had about 40 minutes in them, right?
Yeah.
And that's the performance that they kind of constantly yap about. Ooh, we pressed Man City for 40 minutes. Nice.
I was so proud of that defeat to Man City.
Right? We beat them twice, and we haven't yapped about it half as much. So, is what it is, right? They have their ceiling, and they've hit that ceiling multiple times. They've folded under pressure, probably even worse than we have. Sure, a loss against Brighton and a draw against Brentford isn't great, but we got to remember they lost 2-0 against Brighton. I think they lost against Brentford earlier in the season. They were winless in their first 3 games. So this is a squad and a team that has gone on much worse runs than us, especially when the pressure gets turned up on them. And I think, even if they do get top 4, what I was going to come here and say is Antonio Conte in the Europa League is a pretty good record. I think he got to into the final last time he got in that competition. Although he did lose, he went all the way to the final, and maybe that's going to change if you have a player like Son in your team. Meanwhile, I think it would be comical to see this Arsenal side in the Champions League competition. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think it'd be hilarious to see this side go against Bayern Munich. That's the thing. They
last time they were in it, they lost
very quickly in a competition like Champions League.
Last time they were in it, they lost 10-1 on aggregate. How many times what are they going to lose by this time?
Exactly. So I think that this Arsenal team has limits, and I think they're very quickly gonna hit them. I think against Newcastle at home, no one wants to play Newcastle at home right now. They're unbelievable. And Everton are, I think, what are they, 2-1 up against Leicester right now?
Yeah.
And they're gonna be scrapping for every point, much harder than Leeds, right? Uh, they've done well to do that. I think in the last couple of games they've played well. They beat Chelsea not that long ago, and I think there's another. Chelsea are falling apart. Chelsea are falling apart. 5 points from them. Of course, obviously we don't have a game against them, but if they drop points in 2 games, suddenly they look like they might get fifth. So
Yeah,
even they're
to
not
be ahead, I think to
completely
be
safe
ahead
from
of
this
us, they
Lakers
just
series.
need
So,
they just need 4 points from their last 3 games.
right, 4 points from last, but you know they've lost and drawn their past 2 games, and you know again they have another game against Leeds, who are going to be scrapping, and maybe we've
They
seen that
end the season
hasn't
against
worked out quite
Watford
well
though,
so
so
far for Arsenal. But yeah, they don't really have too much to play for. But you know, if they lose their first 2 games and then they're only winning that last one, yeah, I'm obviously I don't think we're going to end up going above Chelsea. But I'm saying they're falling apart, and um, you know, Arsenal still have more to do than people think. 3 games, and they could very well not win any of them. Newcastle haven't lost at home under Eddie Howe. We're not going to lose against them. We have to beat them, and we haven't lost against them in our new stadium. And Everton, like I'm going to say it again, are going to be fighting for every last point they can get their hands on. 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, doesn't matter. They're going to be time wasting from minute 1. From minute 1, that's what they've been doing, and they're going to keep doing it. It's going to frustrate a young side like Arsenal. They're going to get stupid. They're going to get frustrated. They're going to give away stupid fouls or whatever. They can do it with a team like this. So, Arsenal have a bigger job ahead of them people think. And you know, one of our games is I think at this point after the Liverpool fixture, our fixtures are getting a little bit easier than theirs. After the Liverpool fixture, our fixtures are probably easier these last 3 run of games. And I think they're pretty I think they have one game outside of I think between Newcastle and Everton and even Leeds, there's one game in Arsenal where they don't win. There's one. It's in them. I know it.
all right.
Let's hope so, man. I'm clinging on to it as well, Ariane. I'm clinging on to it. But Ariane, thanks for coming on today, my friend, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Come on. Come on.
Into
We
the
are
last 10 minutes, yeah.
10 minutes to go in this Leeds game now. Let's bring on our next guest, who was our brilliant host on the watch along yesterday, and that is the Resonator. Rez, absolutely brilliant job yesterday. I was watching a few clips back and stuff like that. Loved every second of it. I was watching the fan show on the way home from the game as well yesterday. So big up, great job yesterday.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure as always.
Yeah, it was great to have you on. What did you make out of the game yesterday?
Oh, it was a roller coaster. But you know, I think that Conte did exactly what he needed to do. It was the perfect setup, and the players executed his plan properly. Possibly, you know, maybe falling slightly short when it comes to, you know, certain individual actions that didn't quite come off, which might have netted us 3 points, which would have been amazing. But them's the breaks, you know, that sort of thing happens. If you had offered any Spurs fan a point from that match, they would have ripped your arm off. So it was a good day, as far as I'm concerned. The good outcome.
Yeah, we defended very, very resolutely, didn't we? But what do you make of Jurgen Klopp's comments? What he had to say about our performance after the game?
I've only managed to pick a couple of bits from Clipperty's press conference, but you know, it's the weird thing is I've got more time for Klopp than possibly most non-Liverpool fans, but he does have this tendency to be quite bitter when things don't go his way. Fair enough, you know, it's affected the possibility of their title challenge, of them sort of lifting the title, potentially that quadruple that they've started banging on about recently. So you can sort of understand being a little bit salty, but he does tend to be quite salty quite often. So to be honest, I ignore it. I just think to myself, that's fine, mate. You know, I will revel in your saltiness because it proves that my team came there and did you over, if albeit partially in this case, where we could have really screwed them over. I don't mind it. Let him whine and you know, be bitter about it. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. Very happy about it.
You know, I came away a bit dejected from the game yesterday. I know that at any other time in the season or any other year, you take a point away from Anfield, you know, you're thinking a really good result, you're really happy, and you'll take it. But were you not feeling a little bit at the end there, you know, what could have been potentially?
Yeah, there was a small part of me that was like, oh, if only. But you know, we can sort of dwell on that forever. I mean, it really was. It was. There is that sort of little nugget of pain inside, thinking we could have got. I think it would be our 7th win at Anfield over the course of nearly 100 years or more than 100 years. I mean, who wouldn't be sort of a little bit saddened by the lack of it? Because we were so close. It really was just, you know, one header, I think, would have given us those points. But I'm trying to be, I mean, Sim said, you know, I'm very rational. So I'm trying to be a bit irrational now and be deluded, and say it's all good and it's fantastic.
In terms of being rational, how do you think that point helps us or doesn't help us in the top 4 race? Seeing as, look, Arsenal winning right now, 5 minutes to go at home to Leeds. They have a free kick actually, and this is safe. They're winning right now, so it looks like they're going to go 4 points ahead of us going into the North London derby. So do you think the confidence of point at Anfield might outweigh what potentially could be detrimental mathematics going to the top 4 race?
In an ideal world, what I would like to happen in our players' heads is that they got on the coach or whatever form of transportation they used away from Anfield, seething that they didn't get 3 points, and then transferring that rage to Thursday. Because if we do our jobs properly, as in the fans, on Thursday, and psychologically, I'm talking, not physically, psychologically, as I said last night on Bob Spur's channel, boil the flesh from the bones of those Arsenal players by turning White Hart Lane into an utter cauldron, and they bring their anger at not getting 3 points against Liverpool, we can damage Arsenal very, very badly, not just in terms of getting 3 points, but give them a performance that makes them question whether or not they actually have the steel within themselves for this kind of challenge, because they're very young, they're inexperienced, they are led by a man who looks like a Lego minifigure. These things will prey on their mind, and we owe it to ourselves and our club to make sure that that happens. Psychologically, we can put ourselves in a better position. Beat them on Thursday. We're a point behind, and they've still got some tough games. We've still got some tough games as well. But I think that we can take away from the Liverpool game real positive to say, look, we've come up against the best team in the world, or arguably one of the best teams in the world, and stifled them and made them look pretty ordinary. You know, they had to get a very, very fortunate deflection in order to salvage a point on their own turf. You know, take confidence in that. Believe in yourself for that. There's still quality issues that can't be dealt with psychologically. But in terms of mentality, look at yourselves and say, you did that. And you can do it again.
Yeah.
In terms of quality issues, Emerson Royale. Tell me about him yesterday, because he's come under so much criticism, especially in the past few weeks. And look, you got to say yesterday he played really well.
Yes, I mean you can't take away from a good performance. You have to be fair. I've been heavily critical of Emerson, but yesterday he did his job. The one thing I will say is that when he is given a defensive role, a simple defensive role to do, he can do that okay. He showed it against Man City. He showed it against Liverpool twice. He needs to be able to show that, and he needs to be able to do more than that against your Brightons, your Brentfords, where you rely on being able to play more expansively than you would against Man City or Liverpool, where we saw it. It was self-evident. They were compact, really compressed, and that is the way that we dealt with the game, and it was the right approach. You know, when there's less space between him and other players, it's a lot easier. In sort of the Spanish game, they have that sort of approach. It's sort of that meticulous short passing back and forth. When he's got players near him, he's a lot more effective. If you expand out and he's supposed to be the creative outlet alongside the left wing back on the flanks, he's still wanting. And one performance, or even three performances, if you want to argue, or four performances, for me, don't necessarily change my opinion overall about him. If he can do it against Burnley, and he can put in effective crosses, and he can be a creative outlet, and he doesn't lose the ball when he's trying to sort of create for his teammates, then I will start to reconsider. At the moment, he is still in the not suitable for Spurs column. And it will take time before he moves out of that column for me.
All right, we're just going to pause the chat there for a second because Leeds have a corner in the last minute. Meslier has come up for it.
It's before stoppage time and the keeper's gone up. Never, that's very early, I would say. But here we go.
Nothing.
No, wait. Oh, shot blocked and away. Let's just hope they pump it in. If Arsenal win it here, there's an open goal.
God.
There's an open goal. They got to play. Oh, it's a good tackle. Bloody hell, Dan James. And he's got it back in there, and it's going to Ramsdale.
We've got a super chat here for you, Rez, from Bob, and he says, please ask Rez not to hold back and repeat what he said we'd do to Arsenal on In the Wall last night. It was poetry at its finest. Beautiful stuff. I'm guessing that's what you opened up with, right, today?
Yeah. I waxed lyrical on our duties as fans and what we were going to do and what we will be doing. Because it's the first North London derby with an actual crowd there. They do not know what they are in for. They're going to step out onto that pitch and there will be a moment of stunnage as the seething disgust at their red, scummy uniforms hits our eyes, and we react with all the resentment and repellence that their entire organization elicits within the right-thinking Spurs community. As I say, we're going to boil the flesh from Arsenal's bones. They're going to drag their carcasses from the pitch and question the validity of their very footballing existence on Thursday. And we will party in the streets, and we will shove our victory in their faces and say to them, you may get top four, you may not get top four, but in our house, we destroyed you, and that will live with you forever.
Love it. Absolutely.
Love it. And just as you say that, Leeds are coming forward.
Come on.
Nah. Cross
Nothing.
is cleared away.
Rez, absolute pleasure to have you on once again. Once again, thanks for yesterday. Brilliant hosting of the channel with Danny. I think Nick, Barry, Sean was getting a bit jealous of you yesterday.
Yes, he was.
To be so close.
I got to touch Danny.
Oh God! Don't say that too loudly. I think he's watching. But thanks for yesterday, and we'll see you very soon.
My pleasure. Take care.
See you.
All right. Well, there's one last chance. Well, just before we get Brian on, there is one last chance for Leeds. And this is the last minute stoppage time here, so we might as well see what happens. We're in the last 30 seconds. Leeds have a free kick on the halfway line. Meslier again going all the way up. So can Leeds nick a point? If they do nick a point, by the way, I believe they go out of the relegation zone. So it's very important that they do that for them. Very important for us. So this is last chance saloon for Leeds. They've lobbed it into the penalty area. They've won the header. Oh! They did win the header and it nearly fell to Rodrigo, but it just falls into Ramsdale's hands. Really oh my God, he won the flick on as well. That's a big chance for Leeds. They really could have nicked something there. They made Arsenal swear, it looks like, but it looks like Arsenal are going to take all 3 points here, unfortunately. Ramsdale boots it. Is it full time yet? Referee hasn't blown. Leeds maybe having one more chance to lump it forwards. Arsenal have possession though. They've lost it. One more chance maybe for Leeds. He's gone forward. Dan James.
Ref!
It's going to be a foul against Dan James, I think. Free kick to Arsenal. And I think that should be that. Yeah, it's full time. Full time at Emirates. They've won 2-1 against a 10-man Leeds. Let's bring on Brian Daigle. Brian, how are we doing today, mate? Yeah, look. Arsenal going to the North London derby 4 points ahead of us now. What's your assessment on the top 4 race?
So first of all, I mean, everyone knows I'm prone for a rant and I get very hot-headed and scream and get comical or very, very angry. Can you not put me on after Shakespeare does a fucking rant? Literally, just like, we'll play them on the beaches, we'll do this, and then there's me going, rah, 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 rah. But yeah, I mean, listen, we have to win all our games. We have to win all our games. And if anything, I think this makes the North London derby, the atmosphere they're about to come into, even more toxic for them. And I agree with Rez. I don't think they know what's going to hit them. I mean, they've got to run the gauntlet for first of all. So Robbie will be bitching and moaning about.
Yes, they got to put their lives in their hands, don't they?
Yeah, but they're complete lives, because there's so many people that lose their life running that gauntlet. Jesus Christ, what is he talking about? But yeah, let them do that, and then that place has got to be like, as Rez said, it's the first North London derby. There is going to be so much to play for. This ain't just about bragging rights anymore. This is about some real substance behind it. So that stadium has to be absolutely rocking from the very second you get in. In fact, people should stop leaving money in the bar and literally go into the stadium straight away and just make it as big a cauldron as possible.
Yeah,
that's what should be. It's got to be. This place has got to be rocking. I'm sure it will. But yeah, there's. It's all to play for now, isn't it? This is going to be electric.
Brian, if we do win our final 3 games of the season, what do you think our chances are of finishing in the top 4?
I honestly think that if we win our 3, we've got it, because I can honestly see Newcastle, they don't have a good record at, and Newcastle's going to be rocking. You've been to St James's Park. You know what that place is like when it's things are good. It's one of the most hostile places to go to. They'll be going in with a summer full of excitement for once, thinking, right, who the hell are we going to... Rather than thinking, oh, my God, who the hell are we going to get? We're going to have to Danny Rose and Google it.
And it's their last it's their last home game of the season, isn't it? So
exactly.
There's always good atmosphere on those days.
Exactly, and they're going to think, oh, my God, the potential of people coming to them. And then, I think it's written in the stars. Can you imagine Dele Alli getting the goal that knocks Arsenal out of the Champions League?
Oh, man, I've dreamt about that twice already.
Mate, can you imagine? I mean, honestly, if you want to end banter that we take it from the last day, that's fine. But if you want to do it, then Dele Alli is the one. And can you imagine his celebration? So if we win our 3 games, I think we've got it.
Brian, if we don't, yeah, go on. What were you going to say?
No, there is no option. It has to be 3 W's now.
Yeah, it
has to be nothing else. We can't afford, like we were saying beforehand, with is a draw here going to be good enough and whatever. There is no draws. It's got to be 9 points out of 9 now. No ifs, buts, or maybes.
Yeah, no, look, Arsenal are only a point behind Chelsea now. Bloody hell! So actually, they're closer to Chelsea now to us. But anyway, we've got to beat them on Thursday. That's the main thing. Look, if let's say we beat Arsenal on Thursday, but we don't make top four, with the recent performances against, City and Liverpool and a win against Arsenal, do you reckon there'll be enough belief in the project to keep Conte motivated in the summer and keep him here, or do you think that top four is still extremely crucial for where we want to go?
So, do you know what? The way I've been looking at it, obviously we want top four because it's Champions League and you get the better class of player and it's bragging rights against the filth and everything. But at the beginning of the season, all right, we had Nuno. I was like, if we get Europa League, that's progress on last season. I think the whole thing comes down to, obviously, that and I'm going to try not to, I don't want to make this my Levy agenda. This comes down to, if they've had this chat about the backing, that people are saying, yeah, he's going to be back, is that dependent on top four? That's the big question. If he gets the money that he was going to get top four or Europa, and he does get it, and we start signing players sharpish, then yeah, I think it's enough. If it's on the caveat that you're going to get a windfall if it's Champions League, and if it's not, you've got to what's it called, wheel and deal to a certain extent. Then yeah, I think there could be issues, but that's where I think this lies. I mean, if he is getting this windfall when we are having this summer, and it's not Champions League orientated, then yeah, I can see him staying.
Well, let's hope so, because the performances we've put in against Man City and Liverpool just show the capabilities. I mean, if Daniel Levy can't see that, then I don't know what he can see at the end of the day. But just a quick note on Emerson Royale yesterday. I mean, what a performance, wasn't it?
Mate, the Scotland Yard was rocking yesterday, and I can't wait for Thursday. I've got to get there early to put the red. We've got the red carpet when you come in, which is just a load of Arsenal shirts as you walk in to wipe your feet on. So
I love that.
So that's what we have there. We've got all the flags up. I'm getting there super early, so we're doing all that. It's going to be rocking in. And mate, yesterday I started singing "Royale's on Fire." What a performance! I thought we needed to be drug tested after the game. I was like, Jesus Christ. Listen, like Rez, and like I always say, I'm big enough to give people criticism. So if people deserve praise, I will stand up and say they deserve praise. And Emerson yesterday was a fantastic performance. Mm-hmm. People may say, it wasn't fantastic. But compared to what he's delivered, that was night and day. Yeah. That was night and day. The one thing I will say, and do you know what? You showed his stats, and then you actually said about him at the beginning, Ben. In the first half, I thought Romero was woeful. Mm. He looked woeful's that's a bit too harsh. His passing was a bit sloppy. He got caught out of possession. But in the second half, obviously we saw the Romero we knew, but it got me a bit worried in the first half. But those stats show how good he was. But in the first half, I just didn't think he was on his A game that we've come to see. But yeah, Emerson, and obviously Ariane was there. Ben, they were listen. All of them were phenomenal yesterday. Sessignon, who, as you know, I've come on here and I said I prefer him to Reguilon, put in a shift. If we had that performance, take away what it done with the league and how we needed a win, you cannot be disappointed with the effort, commitment, dedication, application, and everything the boys put in. That was what we want. If they performed like that against Brentford and against Brighton, if we had got those results, you're still like, do you know what? They tried, and you can't. But that was a performance to be proud of.
Absolutely. And long may it continue. Long may Conte's reign continue. And thank you for coming on today, Brian.
Hey, always a pleasure. But I need to speak to you guys when you're done. So when you're done, just give me a quick call. But yeah, everyone, have a great weekend. Thursday, I cannot wait. Cody Mack is coming down to the Scotland Yard as well. So it's going to be a huge event down there. So if anyone from Toronto is in the chat, Bobby K is coming down. Bobby K is taking his kids out of school. Just so, so that's don't let it teach us here. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be massive. So if anyone is in Toronto or in Canada and they've just come over on holiday, Scotland Yard is where to be on Thursday. And as always, Levy out.
Those fingers are getting too strong, Brian. They're way too strong. But big up, Brian. Big up. We've got a few more guests to get through. Next up is Michael. Michael, how you doing, buddy?
Yes, hello guys. Well, before I speak about the game, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna use your channel to vent a bit about three things because, frankly speaking, I was a bit pissed today. And the first thing is like the refereeing decisions recently in our games and Arsenal games have been shocking in terms of players playing against us not getting yellow cards and red cards, and the decisions that Arsenal have been getting, like in the match with United when United didn't get a penalty, and those things. Like how the hell was Fabinho on the pitch yesterday? Like I don't get it. He got a yellow after a fourth foul where he elbowed Son in the face, right? Like
Ridiculous.
that foul alone could have been a red if VAR looked at it, and there's this violent contact, right? I think it's
Yeah.
called,
Yeah.
and they could send him off just for that. But he did 3 fouls in the first half, 2 of which were tactical, which at least one of them should have been a yellow, and the second one, the elbow, should have been a yellow at least, and he should have been sent off. That's first thing. The second thing is I honestly kind of feel bad for English fans that they have to listen to that punditry. Because most matches I watch with English commentary, I mean pretty much all of them, and I listen to like post-match shows with like Gary Neville, Carragher, and all those guys, and like the things that are being said about this match are just disgraceful. Like we put in a real good shift and we played really well. We were solid defensively, and all we hear is that how can you play football like that? It's not like a proper way to playing football. Conte wouldn't be a good United manager. Like fuck off with that narrative. Like seriously, I don't get. I mean I get it because it always happens, right? But after this game, it really pissed me off. It really like I really grinded my teeth because of that. Because just give some praise where it's due, at least in my opinion. And the third thing, yeah, sorry for the run, but the
That's
third
okay.
thing is like I think that past 4 matches of Arsenal should have like an adult warning and be only allowed to be watched by plus 18 people, because like the amount of bending over and like it should have been categorized as pornography, like seriously, because like you guys watched Leeds game, right? What the hell
Yes.
was that first goal? What
No.
the hell were those 3 goals against Chelsea? What were the refereeing decisions against West Ham and United? I seriously think that this team isn't playing well, and they are just getting gifted match after match after match after match, and it just pisses me off honestly, because we are putting, of course, not counting Brentford and Brighton, but we are putting like a really good shift, dominating teams, playing solid against better teams than us, right? And then there is like Leeds just gifting them a goal in the 7th minute, gifting them a goal in the 15th minute, and getting a red card in 27th, and they still only won that game 2-1. Like,
Yeah.
like,
It's frustrating, isn't it?
yeah, it's just frustrating because like I kind of feel that top 4 slipping away a bit. Even though if we win against Arsenal on Thursday, and I think that we will easily win against them if they play like that. But I don't know. I just feel Newcastle and Everton bending over for them for some reason. Like it is to be expected, judging by the past 4 games, and it just makes you think, what the hell is going on? I know I'm not a fan of all the conspiracy theories and the match fixing, etc. And I'm not saying it's that, because it's not. At least I choose to believe that it's not. But the amount of like luck and coincidence that's happening in those matches is just ridiculous for me.
Well, yeah, and Nketiah's last 3 goals, isn't it? Literally just all been given to him.
Just like I don't know. Can Burnley and Norwich give us like those type of chances, please? Like at least Sonny will get a golden boot.
That'd be
if he
nice.
puts those away, right? Yeah. But but okay. All that negativity aside, I was really proud yesterday, because I was watching this match with a friend of mine who is a Real Madrid fan, and I think I spoke with you guys about it, and he was watching a match against Brentford with me, right? And he said that it was really a dull experience, like it wasn't fun to watch. And yesterday we were excited. It was really great to watch. It was a solid defensive performance. And I am first to slack off Dyer, Davies, and Emerson and Sessegnon if they are putting in bad shifts. But yesterday, all of them played really well. I have nothing nothing but to say about them. I was really proud. Oh, you can see my cat there.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
What's the cat's name? Is it a Spurs-related name?
No. It's kind of like a joke in Polish because cat in Polish is kot, and like a beef steak, let's say, is called kotlet. So we named him Kotlet, and yeah, I know it might not be funny if you translate it, but never mind. Sorry. Yeah, but that performance was really good. I am really proud. I feel bitter that we didn't win, honestly, and I didn't think that I would feel this way after this game. I was fully expecting, but maybe not a battering, but a match that couldn't have been won from the beginning, and actually it could have been. Like those chances that we created were just lacking that bit of like clinicalness, and anything that Højbjerg could have done there was better than what he did. Like he could have either let it pass to Bergwijn or square it himself, or like pass it to Kane, but better. And he pretty much chose the worst outcome. But I'm not blaming Højbjerg. He played really well yesterday. All of them played really well, and Liverpool's goal was lucky pretty much. Like I don't, they didn't create a chance that they could say was lucky, that we are lucky that they didn't score. Right, everything that they created was non-threatening. Like they had 20 shots on target and their XG was 1.
Yeah,
that's really good defensive performance from our team. I'm proud. What about you guys? Yeah, you've been there. Yeah. How do you feel?
I was very proud of the performance, and the result was obviously like positive, but it's hard not to feel dejected when seeing Arsenal win today and knowing that basically yesterday, despite a good result, what actually happened in reality is the top 4 went out of our hands yesterday. That's actually what happened when you boil down to it. As much as it was a great point to go to Anfield, anyone going to Anfield and getting a point is commendable. The reality of the situation is we went from top 4 being in our hands to out of our hands. That's what happened. So it's hard to feel happy about that.
Yeah, it's just really sad because I feel like with the matches that we played this year and the previous year, in this season, there were matches that we should have won, and there would be no conversation right now about us being in the top 4, right? I'm still seeing that we dropped 6 points to United, and then they are getting clapped 4-0 by Brighton, right? And I'm still really sad about both Southampton performances. I feel like we were robbed in the first one with that Harry Kane offside. It's debatable, but many of those chances have been given for the attacker, right? Then Wolves' performance, like Brighton second performance, like I feel like there should not even be conversation now. There should be no conversation about us being in the top 4, and we just have to pray that Newcastle and Everton do us a favor. I think they will. I think they will.
Well, you think if we win all our 3 matches, we'll be in the top 4?
Yeah, I do, because sorry. As I said, you would expect that with the way the matches have been going for Arsenal, that both teams will bend over for them. But I'm hopeful that it won't happen. And just purely judging by quality, they aren't better than Newcastle playing at home. In my opinion, I feel that they can draw points, and we don't need them to lose. We just need them to draw, right?
As long as we win on Thursday, that is.
Yeah, of course. But honestly, that's not going through my mind that we won't win that game. Like it's a must for me. If we don't win the match on the Thursday, then there is no conversation, right?
Correct.
I was
Yeah,
just,
Well, in theory, we could draw on Thursday and hope for 2 draws. If they draw both their last 2 games, we win. We'll be in top 4, but I don't think that's likely.
Yeah, you know, but then
I was thinking about it last
Yeah,
night, Michael. I was so pissed off with Levy. I was driving home from Liverpool last night. I had a long
Levy.
4-hour drive, and I was thinking, Daniel bloody Levy, if you didn't make some proper decisions in the summer, if you wouldn't have gone and tried to undercut Antonio Conte and not pay him what he thinks he's worth and gone for Nuno instead, if only you would have brought in Antonio Conte in the summer, top 4 would be wrapped up by now, and I'm telling you that's guaranteed.
no conversation. I would even dare to say that with all the things that happened this year, we would be 3rd, not 4th, because Chelsea are capitulating
so.
right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah, of course, it's just sad, but, you know, this is our club. We have to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
There's not much more to say about it. But, you know, with just the funny analogy with what you said, Sim, about like hoping for 2 draws, I feel like then we would start behaving like Polish national team during all Euros and World Cups. Like we lose the first game and then we have to start calculating mathematically how the other matches.
We need to start going to the Arsenal hotel and setting fireworks off and stuff like that. We have to start doing that shit. We have to look. We have to get dirty. Like, come on, we can't be too much Mr. Nice Guy.
Let's get Arsenal's lasagna chef out from back in
Exactly.
2005. You know what I mean?
Let's put something spicy in there, right?
Yeah,
Let's sabotage them.
Exactly. That's only if we don't win on Thursday. If we don't win on Thursday, we have to start.
We're resorting to the lasagnas
Guerrilla
coming
warfare.
out,
It's
I'm telling
guerrilla
you.
warfare on if we don't win on Thursday. That's how we've got to do it. Yeah, it's really annoying as well. I keep saying, if we actually would have just drawn against Brighton instead of conceding that winner as well, we actually would be in a good position now. Yeah. That was so annoying. That point could be everything, and we just couldn't get that point either. Yeah. And that's such a frustrating thing. But look, Michael, great to see you as always, mate. Let's hope for some luck from now to the end of the season. Arsenal may have won the battle, but will they win the war? Let's see.
Yes, of course. And next year they won't be in a conversation even. I'm sure of it. If Conte gets backed, like we will challenge for the title, not for top 4. I'm sure of it. I know it might be deluded, but I'm sure.
I hope you're right, Michael.
Big up, Michael. We'll speak to you very soon. Thanks for coming on.
Big up, guys. Have a nice day.
All right, let's keep going and let's bring Marlon on. Marlon, how you doing, mate? I think you're on mute. Is it our end or is it your end? Oh, there you go. Yeah, we can hear you now. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing. How are you guys? You good?
Yeah, all good. So cast your mind back to yesterday when the final whistle goes. What were your feelings? Were you happy with the point at Anfield, or did you leave it a bit dejected, thinking we could have won that game?
I looked at it overall and went, I was happy with the point. You know, considering the way Liverpool play against other teams and the way we played yesterday, we've just got to be satisfied with what we got. You know, Anfield is not a great hunting ground for us, and even when you look at the game, there was moments that you thought, yeah, we could have taken it. But if you told me before the game it was going to be 1-0, I'd have taken your hand. I would have bit your hand off and gone, I'll take that result. And I still do. Even after seeing Arsenal win today, you know, you got to think of it like this: that point guaranteed us 5th. If you had told me when Nuno got sacked we were going to finish 5th and be fighting for top 4, I'd have told you no. So let's be positive about the whole situation. All right, we've got to go into Thursday, win that, and you know, considering how we started the season, everything went that. If we win on Thursday, it's been a great comeback, and that's how we got to look at it. Will 4th place or 5th place change anything for Spurs in their summer plans? Probably not. Let's be honest. It probably be certain signings might not come because they want to play Champions League football. But as long as they back Conte, give him the players he wants, we don't have to spend millions of pounds. We just need to go and get Conte what he wants to go and compete next year, and we'll be fine. We've got to be positive because a lot of us thought this squad weren't good enough, let alone make Champions League, even make Europa League at one point. We thought we were going to be finishing below United and West Ham, and you know, we've guaranteed it now, so we've got to be positive.
So, but Marlon, if you were to make a prediction and we win all our 3 games, do you reckon we make top 4?
It's a difficult one. I think we're relying a lot on Newcastle, if I'm being honest. But, you know, if Leeds get a result against Chelsea midweek and Leicester get a result, it brings them back into it as well. And that's the big thing at the moment. You know, Chelsea are not playing well at all. That Cody goal yesterday was bigger than what we thought. And us getting a point, we've just got to win all our games and see what happens. Right? There's nothing about it. You know, we've got to try and turn up against Burnley early on Sunday and try and get that game out of the way. And then obviously Norwich, you know, it's Spurs, and especially after the Newcastle result a few years back, I don't want to start going, yeah, that's a guaranteed win. But you know, as Spurs fans, we've got to be positive. What happened yesterday? You know, you look at that game, and I know Klopp was complaining about the way we played, but did he not watch us against Brentford and Brighton? We played exactly the same. So, and he can't complain the way we played yesterday. We were just better defensively yesterday, and that's how it is. Romero, you know, was good. And I said to you guys on Friday, I weren't worried about Royale. I told you it wasn't that side. The bit I got wrong was Davis and Cesc, because they played well as well. So you can't complain.
Yeah, talk to me a bit about that defensive display, and talk to me a bit about Emerson Royale. I mean, what did you make out of their performances?
So with Emerson, I kind of I looked at him and went, as I said on Friday, he played well against City last time because we had to defend, and he played well against Liverpool at home. They're probably the games. It's the problem we have with Royale is when he's going forward and when he's got time. But if he has to defend, he can do a very good job. And this was why when a lot of people were saying, "Oh, we should be putting Bergwijn right wing or Amora." No, you can't do that this time of the season, because the one thing that Royale can do is defend. And I wasn't surprised with yesterday. But Romero, you know, first half was a bit shaky, but he just grew into the game, and you know, Liverpool just couldn't get through him. Dyer, good game, good solid game. You know, 7 out of 10 if anything. And Davis, well, he surprised me. Him and Cesc played really well together. So we might have a makings there. You know, it's one of them. Everyone's saying we've got to replace Davis, but Conte likes him, and it might be a position that Davis is making his own. We don't know. It's, you know, he plays there for Wales. Why not for us?
Yeah, in my personal opinion, with Ben Davis, I think that we do need someone better than him, but I wouldn't sell him. I wouldn't sell him. I think as a squad option, I think he's a very valuable player to have. I really believe that. Yeah. But what's your opinion on, I mean, you said you're not worried about Emerson, but do you still think maybe, or do you think that he needs upgraded on and we're still looking to sell him in the summer?
Do you know what? I'll leave that in Conte's hands. Conte works with him every day. You know, Spurs fans, if you don't play well within your first 5 games, we'll write you off, you know. And there's a lot of excuses that we've made for him. But if you look at Son in his first season, he didn't have the stats either. And I'm not comparing him to Son. Let's throw this out there. I'm more thinking about coming to a new country, not being able to speak the language, and everything like that. It does take some people time to settle. We can't look at Kulu and Bentancur, who have been at great clubs. You know, you got to remember, Royal was at Betis last year. He wasn't at Barcelona. So I know it's one of them. I can see what everyone's problem is with him, but it's a case of if Conte wants to work with him, I trust Conte. I'm not going to sit there and every week and go, he's rubbish, he's this, he's that. Conte's picking him. Conte has to pick him right now. And since he has started to pick him and he's had no choice, has he been at fault for anything? Not really. He's just played solid games. The problem we've had in the last few weeks is just going forward. And yes, the wingers play a massive part, but Royale is there. Let's back him. Obviously, I'm not expecting the same performance from him on Thursday because I'm expecting us to have more of the ball. So I'm not expecting him to be putting crosses in and things like that. But as long as Kulu, Harry, and Son turn up on Thursday, let's get going. You know, come on, we need to get behind the boys on Thursday.
Absolutely.
Can't be. Yeah, 100%.
All right, Marlon, always great to chat to you, my friend. Thanks for coming on. And hopefully we get to speak to you next week after 3 points against the old rival.
Of course. Thanks. Cheers, boys. It's been a pleasure.
Nice
for coming on, mate.
See you later.
And I think we're moving on to the last guest of the show, and that is Dan THFC. Long time no see, Dan. How are you?
Doing good. The Liverpool game, it's hard to feel anything after that because, like, before the game, as a lot of people have said, a draw is a great result. And looking at Liverpool going to Anfield, getting a draw, that's a great result. But you look at the performance, and especially that last chance in the game, I feel we could have won that.
But it's not just the performance; it's also the table. That's just the reality of the table. Is before the game, it was in our hands, and unless we won, it was going to be out of our hands. And now with Arsenal winning, it most definitely is out of our hands. So does Arsenal winning recontextualise the point more yesterday, or not really?
I think yeah, but if you look at the table, the last 3 games we have the more simpler fixtures. I think they have to drop points against one of Everton or Newcastle. I think it's gonna be Newcastle, but the scenes if Dele Alli scores to get us top 4 as well. Our last fixtures are Burnley and Norwich. Burnley, obviously, in the beginning of the season, that was a top fixture, but I still gonna stick with my prediction to get top 4.
Yeah. So you do believe that if we do win our last 3 games of the season, we will get that top 4?
100%.
Where do Arsenal drop points?
Our fixture, and I think Newcastle as well.
Yeah, I mean, that Newcastle game will be incredibly hard for them,
Monday
won't it?
night.
Yeah.
Monday night, under the lights. Newcastle's last home game of the season. Hopefully there'll be a big atmosphere there as well. So, yeah, I'm feeling a bit similar to you, but, you know, we just all eyes on this North London derby now. We just need to get that result, don't we? And if we play with the same passion as we did yesterday, surely we will.
Yeah, for sure. And the fans have to be on the side as well. We need to be rocking, and I don't have any doubt that it will be. A North London derby, even the preseason friendly, it was a good atmosphere. This is a real fixture, and Brian said about Bobby K's children leaving school early. I'm not even going to school that day. I told my parents forget school. It's a North London derby. Come on, man. And
Exactly.
I'm even going to an Irish pub that day as well. So it's gonna be a great experience. That day it's gonna be a huge game, and I want the players to be fighting for the badge, because that first North London derby, all the fans were saying that they don't know what it's like to fight in a derby, and hopefully now that they've had a few games under the belt and they know what it's like to be a Tottenham Hotspur player and they know what the fans want from them, that they're gonna put out a performance.
Yeah. In terms of yesterday's performance, obviously standouts were Emerson Royale and Ben Davis, and players maybe you don't expect at this kind of ground to put in big performances. Do you think maybe it was a day for the underappreciated players yesterday?
Yeah, 100%. We have to. We talk a lot about. We criticize them a lot, but when they have these type of performances, we have to give them credit. But however, one good performance doesn't mean they should be in the starting 11 next season. We have to replace them, give Antonio Conte the backing, and we need to replace these players. And the thing is that these players need to be like this for these last 3 games, especially Emerson Royale. What a game for him. Definitely his best performance in a Spurs kit. And it's just the fact of the matter is we have no other right wing back. So it's either Royale puts in a solid performance or we don't have another choice. We're not going to bring in Paskotsky from the academy. So he's our only option. And we're asking for him to have some solid performances these last few games of the season because we have no other option. And he did that at Liverpool. Hopefully the form continues.
Do you think the fact that Arsenal only really need a point on Thursday makes a difference to the dynamic of the North London derby now? Because do you reckon they'll still try and go for the win? Because obviously a win makes it mathematically secure for them. Or do you think they're just going to go for the draw and try their luck in the last 2 games?
I think with Arsenal, their run of form is a little bit like, if you look at it from where we're looking at it, they lost 3 games in a row to Crystal Palace, Southampton, and Brighton, and then they beat Chelsea, Man U, West Ham, and now they beat Leeds. And now they're playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think that Arsenal are gonna go for a draw because of their team, young. They're not as experienced, and they don't really have a great record. Arsenal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And this Arteta theme that he deserves some credit with this run that they've gone in. I personally think it's a bit overrated. If you look at the games, Chelsea, that's one of the worst performances I think I've seen Chelsea in a long time. Manchester United, that's the worst Manchester United team I've seen in a long time. West Ham, they were playing their B team because they're getting ready for a Europa League semi-final. And then this game against Leeds, they almost drew to a 10-man Leeds team that are fighting for relegation. I think we could get something. I think 100% I back us to win. I have no doubt in my mind we're going to beat Arsenal.
All right, big up, Dan. Thanks for coming on today. Long time no see. Hopefully see you again very soon. And come on, you Spurs.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone. But thanks, Dan, for coming on. We got a super chat before we go from Andrew Seeley saying, if at the beginning of the season someone said we would have taken 8 points from 12 from Man City and Liverpool, would you think we would be in the Champions League?
Yeah, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? But it doesn't always work out like that, does it?
It doesn't, but it does kind of give me hope for next season. That's for sure. Definitely.
Definitely.
Conte stays.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But that's the whole big thing. It's just no Champions League football will be a blow. Can't deny that. So
I'm just so angry that we didn't bring him in the summer. Because we would be sealed in this top 4, man, if we brought him in the summer.
Would be no doubt about it.
Frustrating. But anyway, that is it for us today. Player ratings and 5 takeaways all coming your way very soon. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.